Well, hello there, and welcome to my rant about my latest trip to Disneyland in California. We are joined today by my special guest here, Baby Groot. Why is Groot here, you ask? Frankly, he's there for this bit right here and nothing else. He's gone. He's irrelevant. This is not a happy Disney episode. I gotta remove the thing from my shirt because it fell down. I'm gonna chuck that. Good enough. All right. So I recently went to Disney with my friends, and I had a great time because I was there with them. I had a terrible time because it was just probably the worst day I've ever had at Disney. I've got a whole list of stuff over here on the side of like all my different reasons for that, and I'm gonna just go on a rant about it, and it's gonna turn out how it turns out, and hopefully it'll be entertaining. And eventually I'll probably stop doing this voice like this. You should like and subscribe. ASMR. Cheers. Nice. That's a side story, which actually, you know what, I'm going to tell before we get too started here. So, what I'm drinking over here, this is Cheerwine. This is my favorite cherry soda out there, and it is a North Carolina exclusive. Very hard to get your hands on it unless you go to Bevmo or you like specialty order it or whatever. So I had a friend who lives out that direction, and he's come back here to visit, and I'm actually going to have a super cool video, maybe stream, we'll see how it goes. I've got a little event coming up with him sometime in the next couple weeks, months maybe. He is an absolute legend and brought me a 12-pack of it. So Dylan, shout outs to you, my guy. You're an absolute legend for bringing me soda! I greatly appreciate your service. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. Now, instead of starting right off the bat with absolutely just berating Disney, I gotta get a couple of good things out of the way, because, you know, the trip wasn't a complete disaster. There were some really good things to it. The big one for me, Star Tours. Star Tours actually functioned, which is amazing. And not just functioned, it functioned in an order. It has always bugged me so much since they introduced the sequel trilogy into that ride that they would like bounce around all the time. So you would have like the start of it would be the First Order, and they'd be like, hey, we're looking for a resistance spy. Then you'd end up on like Tatooine in like the prequel trilogy. And then Leia Organa would come out of nowhere and be like, hey, we're looking for a rebel spy. And it's like, that always has just pissed me off, because it's like, you can't have these different time skips going around in Star Wars. Finn and Poe might be able to light speed skip, but no character in the Star Wars universe can time skip as far as I'm aware. So get that crap out of here. So I was happy that actually went well. The other thing that actually really surprised me that went well, Indiana Jones worked, and it completely worked. I didn't notice a single thing wrong with that entire ride. And for those of you who haven't been there or haven't been there in a while, you don't know how significant that is. That ride always breaks down, and it always has something wrong with it. But it had nothing, not a single thing that I noticed was wrong. And that's saying something, considering it did actually break down earlier in the day when we didn't ride on it. But when we went on it, it was completely functional, and that is a great highlight. Let's get into the bad stuff. So I actually started the day anticipating doing just a normal Disney vlog of like, hey, look, I'm going with my friends. And I even rolled a couple of clips of it to do a video like that. It's another Disney day. I even filmed a couple of clips like planning for a video like that. And you know, I got a little bit of B-roll footage. I got the Princess and the Frog ride, like, oh my gosh, guys, look, the construction, they're starting on that ride, which I'm going to come back to that ride in a minute. But you know, I was just starting it as a normal video, but then I kind of just gave up after like an hour because things just kind of just kept going wrong. And I was just kind of like, I'm not really feeling this as like a happy-go-lucky normal video, you know? So instead I decided to keep a record of all the little nitpicks and things that had gone wrong throughout the day. And here we are with this video. So first off, too much stuff was closed. Like, I get it, they gotta do maintenance, and they do their, like, yearly renovations or whatever. So, like, the Haunted Mansion, they're, like, completely overhauling that ride or something. I don't know, it's been closed for a while, it's gonna be closed for a while longer, whatever. I don't care, it's, like, one thing. But it's, like, there was so many different things that were all closed at once between both parks, and it's, like, I get it, you gotta do maintenance and stuff, but it's like, can't you space it out so you've got like one thing shut down for like a little while and then another thing shuts down instead of having like half of your park closed at once? That just that doesn't make sense to me. On top of that, stuff kept breaking. There was just so many rides that just kept breaking down for no reason. I'm going to revisit that topic too, because there's a couple of them in particular that made our day super fun, but still, it's like, the technology that we have in this modern day has gotten so good, and yet they can't help but like let things break down constantly. And that's just, that's dumb. Ruins the magic, if you ask me. On that same topic, if you're going to have everything be closed and have the park overall be kind of more crappy, you might consider not raising prices, because higher prices for lower quality equals bad. Now, does Disney care? No, they're a multi-million-dollar corporation. They don't give a crap about every man. Yummy. Jumping on back to the Princess and the Frog overlay for Splash Mountain. There are many thoughts that I have about this ride. There are many thoughts that everyone has about this ride. Now, I'm not going to get into defending or attacking them overlaying Splash Mountain and getting rid of it. That is not my battle to play in. However, the one thing I will fight is that by them saying, we're going to write a brand new story featuring Princess and the Frog, they missed out on such a perfect opportunity to just use Friends on the Other Side to go down the mountain. It's like, can't you just imagine, like, you know, you're like going up the hill and then you're just like, boom, 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 boom. Are you ready? That would be funny. That would be so cool. And they're missing the opportunity. So stupid. I guess that's not really an attack on the park so much as it is an attack on management. But it's like, still, that's a missed opportunity. Just completely missed opportunity right there. Jumping over to our next big complaint, the staff, the cast members, they were a little bit on the passive-aggressive side. Everywhere that we went, they were just kind of just being a little pissy. And I don't know that I'm kind of vibing with that when you're supposed to be at the happiest place on earth. Not really behavior that I think fits there. Some of them could have had a little attitude adjustment. Would have been nice. The next thing on my list actually feeds off of that. Pirates of the Caribbean went down. Which, first off, how does that even happen? I feel like that ride, like, it's very hard to screw that ride up, but whatever, it went down. We actually had a fast pass for that ride. Sorry, we had a lightning lane. I gotta come back to that topic again later as well. This video is gonna jump around a lot, but just trust me, there's good points that I'm making with all of it. So it went down right as we were about to go on it and use our lightning lane. But you know, when it went down, everyone that was all scrambling to go to use that at the same time was standing there for just a second trying to figure out what went wrong or like what happened or whatever. And they were literally just like, okay guys, this is a walkway, so you guys are gonna have to leave. Go, shoo. And they were just like, just being rude about it. It's like you can just ask people to like just politely move out of the way. You don't gotta be like, this is a walkway, go away. It's like that's not polite. And Disney's supposed to be polite and happy. That's not polite nor happy. What the heck, bro? Speaking of lightning lanes, we had a lightning lane for Goofy's Sky School. I'm not particularly a fan of that ride, but, well, my friends wanted to go on it, so I was like, okay, well, you know, I guess I'll go with them. Well, we get to the line. We scan through the line so that it registers that we used our lightning lane for it. And right as we get through that line, the ride breaks down and they kick everyone out of the line. And they were a little rude about that too, by the way. I don't know what if it was just an off day for the company, but like, man, everyone was just pissy about everything. So they went through and they scanned everyone's passes to like give them one of those like freebie ones where it's like, hey, you can come back later and cut the line once the ride's fixed. Well, we scanned and they did that and it never showed up. And they did nothing about it. They literally just like, yeah, sorry, whatever. So that was not particularly helpful that we waited all that time to like get that pass and then we just got completely screwed over when the ride went down. So not particularly happy about that either. Customer service was still not having a particularly good day because we went to go upgrade my pass so that I could go park hopping that day. And apparently the mom of my friends that brought me Thank you to her if she watches this video for taking me with you guys. I really appreciate it. She called them the day before and was like, yo, if I want to upgrade this one person's pass, can they like all go into the park and have fun while I stand in line for however long and then upgrade it without them? And they're like, yeah, sure, you can absolutely do that. Well, then we go into the park. We're like all the way at the back over by like Country Bear. We get a call from her and she's like, yeah, no, they completely lied. I stood in line for half an hour just to get to the front for them to tell me that they can't do it unless you're here. And we were just like, bruh. So they're not very helpful at getting their information right these days, which is super fun. Now, I work in customer service, so I know that sometimes miscommunications can happen. So I do have some mercy for them in that regard. But it still kind of sucks, and usually you can kind of do a little more to help them out. While we were standing in line for Soarin', which actually was back to the Soarin' over California variant for while we were there, which I'm happy about because that was my childhood after all, there was cobwebs above us in line. And I don't know about you, but I don't remember ever seeing spider webs at Disney. That is not good park management from a multi-billion-dollar corporation. But who am I to judge, of course? It seems that suddenly the park is not really being very well maintained, and in that same aspect, we counted no less than 6 rides that had broken during the day, and that is a lot to happen in one day, especially when some of them were broken for up to a couple of hours. You never had this as an issue. I have been going to Disney so much as a kid, and I barely remember a single thing breaking down. Or if I did, it was like one thing, and it was either down for the whole day, or it was down for like an hour, and then it got fixed, and everything was good. There was no like simultaneously every single thing's broken. That just didn't happen. I don't know why that's suddenly happening, but it's stupid. It occurred to me we actually did have one thing go wrong with Indiana Jones, but this wasn't really anything on the ride, so I can't really fault that. It was mostly the employees just being dumb. We had a party of 3. It was me and my 2 friends, Brooke and Lauren. That was it. And for some reason, they couldn't count us. Like, they tried to like fit us into a party of 2 that was ahead of us on that ride. And I don't know if you know this, but those lines, they only fit 4. How many people do they fit in those rows? So yeah, apparently they can't count to 4. They can count to 5, maybe, but they can't count to 4. So that was just kind of stupid, honestly. Space Mountain. Now I have some reasons why I used to absolutely hate that ride, but that's a story for another day. But this time it was really bad because we got in that line when it said it was going to be 45 minutes. And it kept getting delayed, either because the ride kept having issues or we kept getting cut off by lightning lane people or whatever. We wound up waiting in that line for 2 hours when it said 45 when we got in there. That is insane. You never used to have these wait times like this. There never used to be that many people at Disney. I miss those days because I really no one wants to wait 2 hours to just do one single thing. If you're a pass holder and you can come back whenever you want, sure, you don't care. You'll do like 3 things in a day. But for people like me that don't go all the time and I'm trying to like maximize hitting every single ride in a day, nobody got time for like 2 hours, and I'm not paying an extra like $50 a person for their lightning lane thing or whatever. The ticket that I had happened to have it, so we wound up using it. But it's like I wouldn't just buy that every single time I go because it's like it's just even more money for not even that good of a quality. It's stupid. I don't like it. Then finally, that leads us to the greatest disappointment at all. We did not get to ride Rise of the Resistance. Now, for some people, that's a great disappointment because they really love that ride and it's super cool tech-wise and whatever else reasons like that. And don't get me wrong, I do love that ride and the tech of it is really, really cool, but that's not why I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed for 2 big reasons. One, because it broke down about when we were going to try and head over there to get on it. And then any other time we did try to get to it, the line was like 90 minutes long or worse. And no one wants to stand in that line for 90 minutes. But the real reason that's really disappointing is because I didn't get to snap a picture of General Hux. Let me explain. I have a friend who happens to be ginger, and me and a couple of my other friends have this tradition that we like to do where we send a picture of Hux to him through Snapchat every single time we go, exclusively because it makes him mad and it's kind of funny. Missed the opportunity this time. Very, very disappointing. I think that is it. I can't think of anything else, so I think that is indeed it. My list checked it all off. We are good. Thank you guys for coming to my TED Talk on why this latest Disneyland adventure was not very good. Hopefully this doesn't happen again, but if it does, I'm sure I'll enjoy ranting about it then just as much as I did enjoy ranting about it now. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to like, subscribe, all that good stuff. We are so close to 1,000 subs, and then I can start making money, and then my production values can increase, and then... and there's other benefits, but I'm sure I'll figure those out when the time comes. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day. I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a good day. It's good.